I often think it's such a pity that dessert is served at the end of a meal when you're full up on everything else, but I'm obviously going to have to learn to pace myself because I do have a dessert hall of fame. Different delicious recipes to bring you sweet joy at the end of a meal or as dinner in its entirety. There's got to be peach melba, perfumed poached peaches over a scoop of cool vanilla ice cream anointed with rich red raspberry sauce. Black and white creams, blackberries in cassis rippled through whipped cream with crushed meringue. And of course, cupcakes with royal icing decorated with an edible bouquet. Not forgetting either fruit fizz, the coolest, easiest sparkling wine and sorbet dessert. No work and total pleasure. When you eat peach melba, you realise why it is that some things become a classic. It is more delectable than I can say. You need to start off with poached peaches, which means poaching some. The liquid is fairly straightforward. You need, I would say, about a cup and a half, about 375 millilitres of water, and cup and 3/4, that's about 350 grams of sugar. Just in it goes, into a pan that really is wide enough to take the peaches later. There's the sugar. I want some vanilla, proper vanilla, so I shall snip in half a pod. Of course you could use liquid vanilla, but this is really lovely. I'm going to bung this in the sugar for safekeeping. And I want a spritz of lemon. I would say the juice of about a quarter of a lemon. And this needs to come to a boil and then bubble away for about 5 minutes before I immerse the peaches in it. And while that is happening, I shall prepare the peaches. And by prepare the peaches, I mean nothing more arduous than halving them. You take some of the stones out, although sometimes, you know, I find it much easier to do this after the peaches have been poached. Generally speaking, I don't hold with cooking fruit. I think it loses all the point. But with peaches, it can make a real difference, not least because so often peaches are disappointingly hard, and once you've poached them, they get all their due peachiness and lusciousness back. Well, the syrup is very exuberant now, so I'm going to plop in the peaches very gently. This is, after all, boiling sugar here. I'm putting them cut side down now. And then after about 2 minutes, I will flip them over and give them another 2 to 3 minutes on the other side. The simmer should be insistent but still low. What you don't want is actually to boil the fruit so it gets a bit woolly. What a happy sight. The peaches can be gently, cautiously turned over now. And the good thing about doing it this way round is that now, when I want to test if they're cooked, I can just pierce this cut side with a fork or a sharp knife, and I can test them without marring their beauty. But the peaches are cooking beautifully, so I'm going to go and get the next component, the ice cream. I think it makes sense to take the ice cream out now so it's got time to soften a little. Now, time for the peaches to be disrobed. Any old plate will do. Just bring them over, peel off the skin. Now, I do this after the peaches have been poached, not just because it's easier. I know I've got asbestos hands. You could wait a minute or so. I'm too impatient. Because can you see the colour seeps through the skin as they cook, leaving them with the most glorious sunset rosy cheeks. And don't think that we're wasting all this beautiful pink syrup in the pan. What I do is I let this get cold and then I freeze it, and then next time I want to make this, I start off with the syrup already made. I don't have to start with the water and sugar again. There is a method somewhere. So slip all the remaining skins off. Very easy now they're cooked. Look at these, naked and blushing. I'm just going to sit the peaches to cool while I get on with the final flourish. The raspberry sauce that you need in peach Melba. It's about 1.5 cups of raspberries, just under 200 grams. 2 to 3 tablespoons of icing sugar, powdered sugar, depending on how sweet the raspberries are. And here's my lemon half from before. So I need 1/4 of a lemon's worth of juice here, just to balance the sugar. And a quick blitz, and the sauce is done. Now, I often am very lazy and take shortcuts, but here I think it really is worth getting a sieve out and making the raspberry sauce super smooth. I say extra effort, it's not that much effort. Just push with a spoon through a sieve. People always use raspberry to denote a colour that is pink, and yet you can see that raspberries like this aren't pink at all, but a kind of lucent orange-red. And now I'm ready to unite all 3 elements. I allow a peach per person. This is mine. I'll get the children theirs later. So put 2 peach halves on a plate, and then add the ice cream. Two peach half-size dollops of vanilla. And then, with joy in your heart, give a raspberry dash of red sauce. Peach Melba was created in honour of Dame Nellie Melba, and you can see it does have a certain operatic appeal. Can't sing, but I certainly can eat. One way of rustling up a very easy pudding, but one that feels special, is by having a good library of liqueurs. You can see I'm doing pretty well. I love this strawberry liqueur, and just chop up some strawberries, dribble it over. Fabulous. Feels a bit different. Now, I picked this up, this chestnut liqueur, when I was on holiday in Corsica, and you can see I have used it quite a bit. It can make a bought chocolate cake taste really special. And from an Italian holiday, I've got a lovely lemon liqueur, really heaven on anything. But right now, for my black and white cream, I want some blackcurrant liqueur in the form of my crème de cassis. Well, this crème de cassis is one part of the black and white cream. These beautiful blackberries are the other part. The white meringue, cream, the cream. I've got 250 grams of blackberries here. Look at them, as shiny as jet. I want to tumble most out into a bowl, but leave some for adorning the floppy, fruity cream later. And about 2 teaspoons of blackcurrant liqueur, or to be frank, you could use blackcurrant cordial, and squish with a fork. You need to squish them firmly enough so that they squash down, but not so firmly that you end up splattering yourself with their juices. And I'm going to leave the inky berries in their juice for a moment while I whip up the cream. About 250 millilitres of whipping cream. A whisk. For this amount, you really don't need to get machinery out. Just keep going and going and going until the cream is thick, full of air, but still with a bit of softness to it. I'm burning up calories here that I will replenish very, very shortly. There we are. Perfect. Keeping the cream soft, I think, is the key to making this feel special, ethereal. One of the meringues, they're from a packet bought from a shop, needs to be crumbled in now. I like to keep some bits fairly big for texture, but a lot that is actually just fine dust, like snow. And I shall add black to white in a way that doesn't at all make grey, but rather a rather fabulous 70s purple. Fold it together. Wow. Just the colour smells of blackberry. And dollop delicately onto a plate. Stud with plump, juicy berries, still shinily black. And give a final snowy dusting of meringue. Another snowfall. Now, this serves two, and two pretty greedy people at that. That suits me just fine.